Lion Larry is at it again. Oh my goodness. So there was a point in time when I was in the sunken place that I held Larry Elder at high regard. And it wasn't until I became independent of thought and actually started to second guess and question my beliefs. Because in many cases, both the right and the left are grooming the youth. That's what they're doing. You have the right going to schools and trying to get in debates with people and having these little events. And then you have the left trying to indoctrinate the kids when it comes to the schooling system and the alphabet and whatnot. Both of them are using the systems in place for their benefits. The more I learned about history, the more I actually learned about the data, I realized that Larry Elder's whole thing was to be a stool pigeon for white conservatives. That, unfortunately, is the majority role of black conservatives within the Republican Party. And it's not because it has to be, it's because that's what white conservatives want. They don't want to be told that they're wrong. They don't want to be told that, hey, your way of thinking is outdated. They don't want to be told that, hey, that's a bigoted anti-black perspective. They don't want to be told that what has happened in the past is having a rippling effect in the present and will in the future. They don't want to be told that. Nevertheless, Larry Elder uses a whole bunch of rhetorical techniques and tactics in order to sound intelligent, which he's not. Because once you start to look and analyze the data, once again, I don't believe women, I don't believe men, I believe facts and evidence. Once you start to look at the data, you realize that a lot of his data that he uses is antiquated. It's outdated because he's been doing this. He's been tap dancing and shucking and jiving for quite some time. So no one's ever actually had to call him out on his data. In addition to that, he uses a bunch of platitudes. He uses a bunch of sentiments that, if you don't resonate with them, they're not going to hit. But if you do, which is what he's accustomed to, which is talking to a friendly audience, which is white people, they don't even second guess what he's saying because it falls in line with their beliefs. Now, what Larry Elder did in this interview was a rhetorical technique known as gish galloping, where you throw a whole bunch of data and stats and arguments at the opponent in which it overwhelms them. Now, the benefit of this is that it makes you sound intelligent, but when someone has the time to go point by point, right, in the arguments and the data that you presented and actually look into it, that it falls apart. Because much of the data, as I've said before, is outdated, it's mischaracterized, and it's just basically lies. And that's what he does in this interview. Now, I will say that Tezin does try to combat some of his his fraudulent claims or whatnot, but it seems that she was, put on the back burner.
Tell me, what financial system are black people in charge of? What healthcare system are black people in charge of? What government system are black people in charge of?
I'm about ready to tell you.
What prison system are black people in charge?
I'm about ready to tell you.
I'm not talking about mayors. I already know that talking point, sir. I go on Fox News all the time as well. So let's not go there with that. I said, what system have we created? Have we implemented that we have been in charge of? Name one.
Is this why you don't like talking to black women, Larry Elder?
I beg your pardon?
His first lie that I thought was pretty obvious to anyone was later on in the interview, in which he says majority of people in prison are there because of violent crimes.
We didn't really get into mass incarceration, but most people who are behind bars because they committed a violent crime against somebody else.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
And often the black people who are behind bars committed a violent crime against another black person.
Well, duh.
And it's a well-known lie, right? The majority of people, according to the data, are there due to non-violent crimes. Not violent crimes, but due to non-violent crimes. So he lies there. And he does lies like this all throughout this interview. No one says, hey, give me a citation for that, bruh. Give me a citation for that. Because he just lies. And it's almost secondhand nature to him because I would argue that he's been molded by a group of people who have a lineage of evil. That's what they've done to this man. That's what they've done to many black people and many non-black people, is that they molded them due to their lineage of evil to promote their wickedness, to promote their propaganda to benefit them. We get into the next lie. He talks about fatherless homes, right? The biggest issue in the world is fatherless homes. Okay, I already know these talking points, right? I know them like the back of my hand. And he talks about, over 70% of, black children are born in the house without a father in the home who's married to the mother.
The number one social problem in America, by far, is the epidemic not of COVID, but of fatherlessness. 70% of black kids today enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
That's a lie. That's just a bold-faced lie. Once again, outdated data. I don't know where he pulls this from. And once again, we also have to take into account that he's trying to conflate a fatherless home and someone not married to the mother are two different things. Do you understand? But he tries to mush them in. It's so dishonest and deceptive because when you look at the data, the vast majority of black children are born, are with parents, two-parent households that are married. I believe it was over 65 or nearly 70%. So he's just lying. And this is a lie, once again, that's been spread around the white Republican Party in order to weaponize it against black Americans. That is what they do. That is their MO. Another lie he promotes is the whole homicide thing. You know, when, the racists on the right, which is majority of them, I would say the vocal majority of them, they constantly talk about 1350. That's a bold-faced lie. He goes on to say, 60% of the crimes, the thefts, the burglaries, and the homicides are black people.
In America, 60% of the shootings, the robberies, and the homicide are committed by black people.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Oh, yes, sir. I miss you like a hog miss flop.
That is, I don't recall at any point in time, maybe way back in the day, if you're going off maybe 90s stats, which isn't fair if you're intellectually honest, because that was a high point in all crime, but that hasn't been true for quite some time, if at any point ever. Even according to the current data, I believe it was 2020, where it was 29% in regards to homicides. Everything this man says is a bold-faced lie. That's all it is. It's just a lie to make white people, white conservatives, white Republicans, whatever they want to call themselves, to feel good about their anti-black hatred, about their anti-black bigotry, about feeling good about where the country is, and to turn a blind eye to all the problems that it has. One of the overarching themes of this interview that Teslin was trying to get out was the system. This Sambo clown actually took about 15 minutes to get out of his mouth that, hey, this system is not ran by black people.
So the question is, you said that the system encouraged black women to be single mothers, correct?
I said the welfare state, yes.
The welfare, the system. So who's in charge of the system? Who was in charge of the system?
Oh, well, it was Democrats that passed it.
I want you to understand that. That goes to show you how intellectually dishonest this person is. This man, he's no longer a black man. As I did in the other video with Matt Walsh, that's what they're looking to do. They're looking pretty much to do a get out. That's what they're looking to do. A get out, a form of get out, where they replace everything you have, your self-worth, your history, your ancestral history, right? Everything you know about yourself as a black American or African American, they want to remove that and replace it with their beliefs, with what they want you to believe. That is what they have done to Larry Elder, and that's what they've done to many black faces, whether it's black faces on the right or black faces on the left. That is what they have done, and it's disgusting. It's sickening when you see it. Because you constantly have these wicked people talking about crime in Chicago, but yet when you ask, what have you done? What have you done to give a solution? Nothing, because they don't care, right? Their whole purpose in existing is to just to kill, steal, and destroy. That's really what their purpose is. And when you see that, and when you expose it, well, then you become the bad guy. Because when it comes to the homicide rate, I believe it was 29%. That was the most accurate data that we had. It's literally a form of Birth of a Nation all over again. Imagine Birth of a Nation, but no longer in the White House. Imagine Birth of a Nation on your phone. Imagine Birth of a Nation on your apps. Imagine Birth of a Nation on your television. Imagine Birth of a Nation in your newspaper. That is what we are experiencing right now. That is what is happening because they are wicked, evil people. That's what it is. When you come from a lineage of evil that you've never had to address the wrongdoings of your, of you, of who you are and what you're promoting, which is what they're doing right now, then that's what's going to sustain. If you never change your behavior, then it's going to consist. And that's what we're dealing right now as Black Americans in this country right now. And it's unfortunate, but that's what we're dealing with. But we're existing and we're fighting against it. God willing, we'll become victorious because, according to, the last video, they believe, they're going extinct. So, anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. And listen, let me just be clear. I don't care what you think because most of the people and most of the comments that are going to have an issue with this video are either Sambos or white conservatives. And I don't have time for your fragility. I really don't. And I'm sick and tired, lastly, with this talking point of, well, why can't I be an independent thinker? Listen, nobody's arguing about you being an independent thinker. This is such a stupid argument. It's such a dumb talking point, right? But I would argue that the black person who was pro-slavery probably wasn't black. I would argue that he probably wasn't advocating for his benefit, that he had probably been brainwashed by a non-black white person. That's what I would argue. But could he have that belief that, hey, well, I want to be a slave and slavery is good? Absolutely. All right. But I would argue that that's probably not beneficial to him or his group, which would be Black Americans. So miss me with this nonsense. Nevertheless, if you want to call in, which most of you are cowards, which I understand, because you have a history of cowardiceness, we have Disagreement Day, typically held Friday through Sunday. There'll be a number on screen. Call in. We duke it out. Either or. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. That fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
Well, it was Democrats that passed it.